What's up guys, Ivory here. The NBA is never ever drama free. As we get closer and closer to the playoffs, here's a look back at some of the shenanigans we've watched play out so far this season. But before we begin, it will really mean a lot to me if you took a quick second to smash that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. Now back to the video. Number 1, Kevin Durant is traded. Instantly, the balance of power in the NBA shifted towards the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant had requested a trade the last summer, only to back down and stick with the Nets when they couldn't find a team willing to meet their outrageous trade demands. But the chaos and drama continued to get worse in Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving demanded a trade from the Nets a few weeks from the deadline. KD then requested a trade shortly after that. Now, the Nets have become the league's no-star team, even though the spare parts they got back from KD and Kyrie, they actually have played well. Now that KD is with the Suns, they have become the favorites to win it all. Devin Booker and KD is a freaking cheat code, man. Number 2, Kyrie Irving gets in trouble for a retweet. On the other hand, how the Nets and the NBA front office handled Kyrie's controversial retweet on Twitter was crazy. For me, it was the laundry list of chores Nets owner Joe Tsai and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver forced Kyrie to do before he can get back in the league's good graces. It was over the top. Maybe or maybe not, Kyrie deserved to be suspended for a few games for his inability to address the controversy head on. The Nets or any team, they can choose not to do business with a player who says or does things that goes against their code of conduct. But the laundry list of goofy to-dos the Nets organization demanded he complete before he come back, it went too far. Now, it was a move meant to embarrass Kyrie, forcing him to bend the knee and kiss the ring. Not to the group he offended, but the Nets organization. Number 3, the Mavs make a desperate deal at the deadline. Man, it's looking bad for the Dallas Mavericks. First, they lose Jalen Brunson for almost nothing last summer. Then this summer, they could potentially lose Kyrie Irving and Christian Wood, their second and third best players, for basically nothing as unrestricted free agents. If that were to happen, it's only logical Luka would be the next star demanding a trade out of Dallas. So the Mavs, they made a desperate swing at pairing Luka with the co-star before the deadline by trading Spencer Dinwiddie and their glue guy Dorian Finney-Smith, their best perimeter defender. And for Kyrie, he has continued his spectacular scoring spree with the Mavs, averaging 28 points per game, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. But the Mavs offense have struggled on defense as they rank 23rd in defensive rating. Basically, the Mavs offense boils down to Luka and Kyrie taking turns jacking up hero shots at the buzzer. Kyrie, he needs to re-sign this summer with the Mavs for the trade to be worth it. It has been reported he won't settle for anything less than $50 million per year. If the Mavs lock in to a 4 or maybe a 5-year contract at that asking price just for him to demand a trade next season or the season after, it might really have a domino effect on the franchise and they won't be able to stop it or they won't be able to even slow it down. Number 3, Ja Morant snaps. The Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant was recently caught on Instagram Live at a strip club with friends showing off his gun. Now, like most young dudes these days, Ja Morant thinks that carrying around a gun makes him a tough guy. Now, his actions put himself and those around him in danger. Initially, the Grizzlies had suspended him for 2 games, but later they announced that he would sit out at least 4 games for conduct detrimental to the team. Now, the NBA had decided to include the 5 games Morant had already missed in his suspension, and he won't be getting paid for any of that time that he was out. In a recent interview with Jalen Rose, Ja Morant admitted to entering counseling for his behavior, having recently discharged himself a few days ago. Number 4, the Kings and the Knicks, they are balling. 2 of the worst NBA franchises over the last 20 years are finally out of the gutter, and they are actually in the playoff hunt. The Sacramento Kings and the New York Knicks are so much alike, man. Over the last years, they have both had a lot of bad contracts on their books, terrible players, and to be honest with you, they had terrible coaching as well. But today it's a different story. Both have elite all-star caliber pick and roll duos The Knicks, they have Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, and the Kings have De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Both of these teams have mostly built their core squads through the draft. Now, both squads, they have old school coaches with, some sketchy playoff track records, but have shown the ability to evolve. Mike Brown and Tom Thibodeau. And both of these squads have insanely loyal and knowledgeable fan bases, desperate for a winning team to root for. Number 5, Danny Ainge crashes the NBA stock market. Now, if you ask Donovan Mitchell if he thought he was going to be a New York Knick, I'm sure he would have told you yes. Now, after weeks of tense negotiations between the Knicks and the Jazz, executive Danny Ainge seemed kind of annoyed with the Knicks executive vice president William Wesley's presence in the front row of the Jazz and the Mavericks first round playoff series last year. Danny Ainge decided to kill the Knicks' hopes of trading for the hometown hero, sending Donovan Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oddly enough, that wasn't Danny Ainge's most controversial move last summer. That would be the highway robbery he pulled off for trading Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Jazz, they received 5 really good players and Minnesota's 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029 first round picks plus a 2026 pick swap. That's 5 years of draft control of the T-Wolves just handed over to the Jazz for a player who doesn't seem like a fit with Karl Anthony Towns. Number 6, LeBron breaks the unbreakable record. Now, for those who watched LeBron James score his first points against the Sacramento Kings during his first NBA game on October 30th, 2003, breaking the scoring record this season was extra special. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record, it kind of felt like one of those few unbreakable NBA records. In a Tuesday night game against the Oklahoma City Thunder in early February, LeBron needed just 36 points to break Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. In a dominating performance, he scored 16 points in the third quarter alone, swishing a beautiful jumper with only 11 seconds remaining. This moved him to a career total of 38,388 points, passing up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's decades-long record. For a ceremony commemorating this wonderful achievement, the game was briefly stopped for about 10 minutes, during which members of LeBron James' family, his wife, his mom, his 3 kids, and even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar stepped onto the court to share the moment with LeBron. As celebrities and former teammates and Laker greats watched from the stands, LeBron made history as the league's all-time leader in points. This season, he's averaging a crazy 29 points per game at 38 years old. Now, it took Kareem Abdul-Jabbar 1,560 games over 20 years to score 38,387 career points. Now, LeBron looks like he got about at least 3 good years left in him. Now, the record he sets when he finally hangs it up could truly be one of the hardest records ever to break. Number 7, the OKC Thunder tank is officially over. Doesn't it seem like yesterday Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George had united in OKC, of all places, to formulate their own Big Three? Now, that was a bust before Paul George demanded a trade to the Clippers right after signing an extension with the OKC Thunder. Then came along the Chris Paul-led underdogs, paired with a bunch of veterans and young guns like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lou Dort. Now, only Dort and SGA are still with the team 2 years later, but let's keep it real. They are both key parts of the cornerstone rebuild Sam Presti crafted after he squandered having 3 MVPs simultaneously, right? Remember, he had Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. Remember that? Now, the Thunder can potentially make the play-in tournament this year. This season, they are 3rd in pace, 10th in defense efficiency, and 14th in offensive rating. That's not bad for only year 3 of the rebuild. Now, the emergence of SGA as a superstar this season has accelerated their rebuild. And as always, thank you for watching, and go ahead and hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.